A furor swept through Incheon International Airport tonight. Jungkook, the youngest member of BTS, has finally returned to Korea after undergoing medical treatment abroad for a poisoning case that shocked a military camp. However, the moment of his return turned into a thrilling incident when he suddenly experienced symptoms of relapse in front of hundreds of fans and media crews. What exactly happened? How serious is his condition? Jungkook's return is expected to be an emotional moment for the army who have been waiting for his idol to return to their homeland for a long time. However, Haru's mood turned to panic as his body suddenly weakened as soon as he stepped out of the international arrival gate. Witnesses at the scene reported that Jungkook's face looked pale, and his pace was unsteady before he collapsed in front of dozens of reporters' cameras. The medical team, which was already on standby, acted quickly, and without saying much, they took Jungkook to the ambulance to be rushed to the nearest hospital. The big question arises: has Jungkook's condition worsened after treatment abroad? Why is he allowed to return if his health is still unstable? Or is there something that is not revealed to the public about his real state of health? Jungkook's case is still a hot topic of discussion, both among fans and health experts. Previously, Jungkook was known to have suffered from poisoning while serving in the army at one of the South Korean training camps. Until now, there has been no official statement that really explains how the incident could have happened. Some reports suggest that Jungkook suffered poisoning from the consumption of contaminated food or water. However, other, more surprising speculations also emerged. Was there an element of negligence or even sabotage within the camp? The fact that only Jungkook is affected adds to the big question mark among the public. Jungkook was then flown abroad to undergo intensive treatment. However, to this day, details regarding his condition during treatment are still very minimal. Big Hit Music only released a brief statement that the idol is recovering and asked for privacy for Jungkook during the treatment period. And now, the incident at the airport raises new concerns. Has Jungkook's recovery not been completed? Is it getting worse while abroad? Since the news of Jungkook's return spread, armies from all over the world have been preparing to welcome him with enthusiasm. However, their happiness turns to panic and sadness once a video of Jungkook collapsing at the airport goes viral. After the incident at the airport, Jungkook was immediately rushed to a hospital in Seoul under tight security. Until now, there has been no official statement from the hospital regarding his latest condition. However, some sources say that Jungkook showed the same symptoms as when he was first rushed to the hospital for poisoning at the military camp. If this is true, then this could be a bad sign that the toxins in his body have not completely disappeared, or that there are long-term effects that are not yet known. Doctors are reportedly conducting a series of tests to find out the exact cause of the recurrence of these symptoms. Is this just a side effect of treatment, or are there other, more serious factors? Meanwhile, Big Hit Music has also not given an official statement following the incident. Their silence only added to the concern among fans. Jungkook's case has also sparked various conspiracy theories among fans. Some believe that this incident was not just an accident or negligence, but rather that there was an element of intent behind it. Speculation has gone wild as some have linked this incident to the stress Jungkook experienced during his military service. From the beginning, the presence of BTS members in the military environment was indeed a big concern. Given their global popularity, is Jungkook under too much pressure inside the camp? Was there unfair treatment? Until now, there has been no concrete evidence to support these theories, but more and more fans feel that something is being covered up from the public. For now, all eyes are on the hospital where Jungkook is being treated. The public is looking forward to the latest news about his health condition, as well as official statements from the hospital and Big Hit Music. Meanwhile, fans around the world continue to send prayers and support for Jungkook. They demand transparency from the relevant parties and hope that the idol can recover fully soon. This incident has not only become a discussion in South Korea, but also around the world. Jungkook is one of the biggest stars in the global music industry, and whatever happens to him will always be in the spotlight. However, one thing is certain: the mystery behind Jungkook's poisoning has not really been solved. And now, with a new incident happening at the airport, The big question again arises: what really happened to Jungkook? Until this news is written, there is no certainty about Jungkook's latest condition. We will continue to monitor the progress of this case and provide updates as soon as possible. Stay tuned for what's next. Something hasn't been revealed yet. ***, since being rushed to the hospital, the whole world has been waiting for the latest news about Jungkook's condition. However, until now, there's been no official statement from the hospital or Big Hit Music. It is precisely the silence that is causing more and more wild speculation. According to an internal source who did not want to be named, Jungkook's condition is more serious than expected. A medic on duty at the hospital where Jungkook is being treated revealed that the idol is experiencing symptoms that point to toxic shock syndrome, a condition that can be fatal if not treated quickly. Jungkook experienced symptoms similar to his initial case, but this time more severe. We are conducting further tests to ascertain whether this is a result of previous exposure to the toxin or there are other factors that worsen his condition, the source said. If it's true Jungkook has toxic shock syndrome, this could be a big blow. This disease is usually caused by a bacterial infection that enters the body and triggers a dangerous reaction. The question is, how did this happen after he was treated abroad? Did the treatment he was undergoing not work? Or is there a new complication that arises after he returned to Korea? Meanwhile, a doctor who has dealt with similar cases said that Jungkook's condition should be monitored very closely in the next 24 to 48 hours. If these symptoms are really related to the toxin in his body, then it is possible that the toxin is still not completely removed or there is an infection that has not been detected before, he explained. After almost 12 hours since the incident at the airport, Big Hit Music finally issued an official statement. However, instead of providing clarity, their statements raise more questions. Jungkook is currently receiving intensive care at the hospital. We ask for understanding from all parties to respect his privacy during the recovery process. We will provide further updates if needed. This statement actually makes the army more restless. There are no details about Jungkook's specific condition, no confirmation as to the cause of the recurrence of symptoms, and no certainty as to whether he is in stable condition or not. Why do they keep covering this up? There's something they're hiding, said one fan on Twitter. Even some media analysts consider that this statement was made to quell panic, but it has caused even more wild speculation. If the conditions were really stable, they would have already said that. The fact that they didn't provide detailed information suggests that something more serious is going on, said a Korean entertainment journalist who used to cover BTS. Some fans began to dig deeper into this incident, and they found quite suspicious things. One of them is the fact that Big Hit Music did not release any photos or videos of Jungkook at all during his treatment abroad. If Jungkook is indeed undergoing intensive medical treatment abroad, why is there no documentation or statement from the hospital where he was treated? Usually, in the case of major celebrities, the hospital that treats them will give a statement or at least make sure that the artist is really in good condition. But in Jungkook's case, everything felt very closed. Some fans even began to point out that Jungkook may not have received proper treatment while abroad, or worse, there was an error in diagnosis that caused his condition to worsen. If there really is an element of negligence in the treatment, who should be responsible? Was it the overseas medical team, Big Hit Music, or even the military who first handled this case? One of the biggest questions that now comes up is, why is Jungkook allowed to return to Korea if his condition has not fully recovered? In such a situation, usually a patient who has just undergone serious treatment will not be allowed to travel long distances, let alone a long flight that can worsen his condition, an international travel specialist said. If someone has a serious medical condition such as poisoning or systemic infection, they should not be allowed to travel long distances until they have fully recovered. Long-haul flights can trigger a recurrence of symptoms, especially if the immune system is still weak. So, does this mean that there was a mistake in the decision to bring him back to Korea? Or is there a certain pressure that makes Jungkook have to come back sooner than he should? Several eyewitnesses at the hospital where Jungkook was being treated reported that security around his room was tight.